Yay! Hi, I'm Carlino, and I am not a product designer. Oh wait, actually, I am a product designer, which I guess means that I should give you really good advice during this video. But I don't usually get to work on Halloween stuff. And that's what this video is about. I don't know why I'm laughing. There was nothing particularly maniacal or funny about that statement. At the time of this recording, we are one day away from Halloween, and I would like to do something really big and cool looking around my garage door bay, but I don't want to spend a whole lot of money to do it. So, here's my solution. I'm going to use a piece of foam to make a big decoration that goes around my archway. For this project, I'm going to be using a 1.5 inch thick piece of insulation foam, which I have right here. I found that at Home Depot. It was about $15. It was the cheapest sheet of foam that I could get, at least with that thickness. You know, I didn't want to go anything thinner because you want to be able to carve into it. But the great thing about this is the way I'm doing it, you don't have to do a lot of heavy detail work. Just rough in the shape, and then that's where the magic happens. Because I'm also using I bought about $6 worth of cheap paint. You know, the black is like 97 cents a can. Unfortunately, they didn't have red in the really, really cheap stuff, so I had to pay about $4 for this. But I think that that's going to be enough to make something that will hopefully look awesome. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to measure the width of my garage bay. It's about 8 feet 2 inches. Before I start drawing on this, I need to peel off the Mylar on the back of this foam. A lot of insulation foam doesn't have this, but I guess since this stuff is a little thinner, it does. I certainly don't mind. I'm going to hold on to this. I might be able to use it for something. So the distance I'd like to span with this decoration is about 12 feet with that 8 foot 2 inch gap in between. But this piece of foam is only 8 feet wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out how to cut it into 2 pieces that'll span that distance. Before I cut anything out, I think I'm going to draw my design. I'm kind of thinking something sort of demon-y with, you know, big eyes, fangs, maybe skeletal. That'll be cool. I kind of got my rough design laid out. Sort of going for kind of a plague doctor-y type thing, except with some Unicron horns, or maybe very evil-looking carrots on the sides. Now I'm going to do some cutting. That is such an awful noise. Before I move on to the next step, I'm going to clean up all these styrofoam beads before they blow through the neighborhood and cause a minor ecological disaster. And I could use a shop vac, but I think I have a better idea. Normally, if you're using expanded foam to build props or movie sets, you would want to coat the foam with white glue or wood glue before you try to paint it with any kind of aerosol spray paint. The reason you would do this is to prevent the paint from eating into the foam. I believe it's the aerosol that acts as a solvent. But in my case, I want to leave the foam uncovered. I'm going to spray in my details with the paint and then allow the paint to eat into the foam so that I'm actually sort of sculpting the foam using the dissolving nature of the paint to help shape the foam and give it a good distorted effect, which should be good and creepy, and also make my work a lot easier. Alright, so I'm ready to start the second side, but unfortunately my friend and neighbor just pointed out something that I should have noticed early on. This needs to be a mirror image of the other one, not an exact copy. So that means that I can't work on this side. I have to work on that side, which kind of sucks because it's got all that printing on it. I'm still going to do it though. I think it'll be fine. Alright, I just discovered something that is going to save this project. This peels off. That's going to be a lot easier to work with. I didn't actually just buy this paint. I just had it lying around, and that's the great thing about a project like this. Chances are you have all sorts of paints that are just gathering dust in your garage somewhere, so even better. So you can see I'm losing daylight, but I am going to keep working. At this point, I've got both sides painted, mostly, so I'm going to stick them together so that I can make both sides kind of match. The way I'm going to do that is with some duct tape, and I'm also going to reinforce it with this piece of steel angle that I have lying around, and you could really use anything. A dowel rod, a handle from a dollar store mop, pretty much anything you want, a scrap piece of wood. But I've got this, so I'm going to use it. So there it is. I'm pretty excited. All right, I think that I'm going to flip it over before I continue working on it because those horns are a little bit delicate and I really don't want to accidentally break them off while I'm working on it. So here it is. Here's the finished product. I'm actually really happy with it. The places where the paint ate into the foam really are dynamic. I'm just tremendously happy with the effect. And it also means that I didn't have to spend a lot of time filing and trying to shape everything. This whole process took about 3 hours and roughly $25 worth of materials. That is a pretty manageable investment of both time and money to get something that I think is going to make a big impact when kids come around to trick or treat and when the neighbors come by. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what everybody thinks of this. So there you go. If you like this video or you like any of my other videos, please feel free to subscribe, click the thumbs up button. Other than that, seeing how you do not have to be afraid to try to make oversized Halloween decorations on a shoestring budget. This is Carlino saying, be brave. Yay!